asked for more draft content, and I'm here to deliver. My name is Mitchell Renz. You're watching the Raiders Report. And coming up here on today's show, I'm going to be looking at the top 2026 NFL draft targets for the Silver and Black. The rankings that you're going to see from me going from 10 all the way down to 1 are for the Raiders. I also am going to say this. The top 10 prospects are for the college football playoffs. They are not my top 10 rankings overall. Before we get in, though, to today's show, I got to kick it over to our sponsor here, Temu. Raider Nation, I am very excited to be able to welcome back Temu as a sponsor here on the Raiders Report. Temu is offering an awesome deal when you download the Temu app. If you use code KCA3934 in the search bar, you will get a $20 coupon. Now, to me, I'm a visual learner, so I wanted to be able to show you guys how easy it is to be able to do it. See that search bar up there? KCA 3934. Then this is going to pop up on your screen. It's a limited offer. Look at this bad boy. Claim now. You click that $20 off coupon, and you're ready to rock and roll. You can search through a whole bunch of different stuff. Maybe you're looking for some stocking stuffers, some awesome gifts to put underneath the Christmas tree, or for Chug's Hanukkah. We got you covered here on Temu. I also wanted to be able to show you some of the other awesome deals that I have gotten on Temu by using KCA 3934. You know the jacket that I'm actually rocking right now? I got that on Temu. And if you're looking for jackets, for shoes, maybe your wife is looking for a bed where her and your dog Chuck can be able to lay in it. But you know what? I love being able to take care of my wife. I love being able to take care of my dog Chuck, which I think you all know. It's also simple to take part in this awesome deal. And if they also offer that 90-day return window if you aren't satisfied. So let me show you one more time here on the Temu app. You go, download the Temu app, search code KCA3934. It's going to pop up on your screen. Then you get that $20 coupon code by hitting that button and claim now. Now, I don't know about y'all. If you need something to click on, I'm also going to put that link for you guys down in the comments, down in the description of today's show. And I want to give a huge, huge shout out to Temu for sponsoring the Raiders Report. Let's go to number 10 here on our list. Ty Simpson, quarterback for Alabama. And when you look at Ty Simpson, you got to be able to sit up here and you got to wonder, can he continuously show growth? Because in the first few months of the season, 18 touchdowns, 1 interception in September and October, 6 touchdowns, 4 interception in November and December. I look at that and I do get a little bit concerned because he's gotten worse each of those years. Now, he is a projected first-round pick and is ESPN's #1 quarterback, but his struggles the past month, they do worry me. I see somebody that's got a high football IQ. I see somebody that is accurate with the football. But I am somebody that wants the Raiders to draft a quarterback, whether that be a Fernando Mendoza, Dante Moore. And the fact that there are a lot of people out there saying that Ty Simpson could be the #1 quarterback, that concerns me, especially first year as a starter. Limited athletic ability and only 478 college football passes. Because of that, it is important for Raiders fans to be able to look at him and be able to watch him. But the limited sample size does make me a little bit more nervous. Let's go to player number 9. And again, Ty Simpson is the quarterback for Alabama. Coming in here at number 9, it is Francis, and I'm going to do my best to be able to get his name correctly, Mauigoa. And there's been a few Raiders fans that have told me, hey, Mitch, can you check out the offensive tackle from Miami, Mauigoa? And I watched them a little bit today. I watched them a little bit yesterday. And you guys know, I am somebody that wants the Raiders to be able to invest in this offensive line in free agency because I don't want to enter the draft without, having anybody to protect my guys. Depending on how Spencer Fano tests out and depending on how Mauigoa ends up looking here in college football and playoffs, he's got a tough test. Texas A&M's got a lot of talent there on the defensive side of the football. But right tackle is what we need. We have Colt Miller over on the left side. I still want to see a little bit more out of Charles Grant. But to me, if you're the Raiders, the only way that you're really entertaining this idea of going out and getting Mauigoa is if you trade back. Like if you're at pick number 1 and you're like, all right, F it, we're going to trade back and get some extra picks. That's when I think I would look at this. But a right tackle with 38 starts, right? Freak athlete with rare movement skills for his size. Also very coachable. Played in a pro-style Miami type of offense where he had to protect Cam Ward, where he had to protect Carson Beck. So the fact that he is somebody that has shown me that it's gotten a lot better from his freshman year to where he is now, that's coachable. That's what you love to see. And I know John Spytek really, really values offensive linemen. I said last year that if I was the one in the room, I would have drafted Armin Membu, and then I would have targeted Trevion Henderson in round 2. I think if you were to ask a lot of people around the NFL what would have been the better idea, I think people would have agreed with my personal opinion. Because John Spytek loves Tristan Wirfs and loves offensive line, I do think Mauigoa is a player that you got to keep in mind. He's number 9 on my list, though, because I want offensive linemen in free agency, and this ranking is based on which players I'm going to be looking at the closest. Let's go to number 8 here. I'm going to go David Bailey, edge from Texas Tech. Before you're a Raider fan and you yell at me and you go, Mitch, I don't ever want the Raiders to take a Texas Tech edge again. I mean, he's a linebacker edge prospect. He is PFF's number 2 overall edge in terms of their rankings, and he's undersized, no doubt about it. But he wins with burst, bend, and a never-ending motor, and it shows up on tape. The Texas Tech Red Raiders, you can make an argument, might have the best defense right now in college football. I do worry about him setting an edge, and I do worry about how he's going to be able to match up against some of these other NFL running backs and NFL offensive linemen on a consistent basis. But the other area of his game that I think is really intriguing is his ability that he shows you that he can cover. I have done this show for a long time. I've always wanted the Raiders to go out and get a Kyle Van Noy and Andrew Van Ginkel. Somebody that not only can play outside linebacker, play defensive end edge, but can also drop back into coverage. If you have a smart enough defensive coordinator and a smart enough of a head coach, they could do magic with David Bailey. Like if you told me the Raiders go out and they hire somebody like Brian Flores to be the head coach, David Bailey would be a very, very intriguing prospect with 13.5 sacks, can do a multiple of different things. But again, we're looking at somebody that's going to get drafted in round 1. And if you're picking number 1 for the Raiders, this isn't somebody that you're keeping an eye on. But because I know the Raiders have so many different holes, I'm really like, either we're taking a QB at number 1 or we're going to trade back, try to get a bunch of other first-round picks and load up on talent. David Bailey is somebody that I anticipate gets drafted between the 10 and 20 range. And if you trade back, that's where the Raiders could be being. So, Bailey, my eyes are on you. But I want to know from you. This is going to be the pinned comment here on today's show. And this question, I'm just going to say it like this. Some of you might be playing chess. Others might be playing checkers. I think I'm playing chess with this answer. Who do you want to win the college football playoffs this year? Give me your answer down below. My answer is going to be coming up here after this YouTube ad break. I'm going to just say this because I don't really care who wins it all. I would love to see Indiana win it for Mendoza, but I'm going to go with Oregon. And I know that Oregon would have to run through Indiana in order for that to happen, but in my mind, if Oregon wins the Natty, that means Dante Moore is declaring. And if Moore and Mendoza are on the board, that gives us a better chance to go get a quarterback. And my other plan was if you're at number 1 and you like both prospects, what if you trade it back to number 2? Got more draft picks and still got a quarterback. For that reason, I want Oregon to win it all. Let's go to number 7 here, and it's going to be Cashius Howell. And Howell is a round 2 prospect, according to people that I talk to that do a lot of homework on the NFL draft. And I've watched a little bit of tape, again, over just the past 24 hours. But the reason why he's at number 7 over Bailey, over Mauigoa, over Simpson, is because of how much I'm going to watch him. If I'm somebody that's going to sit up here and say, hey, I want the Raiders draft quarterback in round 1, I've also said the importance of being able to build in the trenches, and I want to be able to build in the trenches on defense in round 2 and round 3. So if we're looking at a prospect that I think could go in the second round, somebody who led the SEC in sacks and pressures this season, and you can see it, elite speed, the quickness, the bend, the motor, really, really good pass rusher. His size, his power does scare me. But, think about that best version of Malcolm Kuntz. The Malcolm Kuntz we saw the back end of 2023, where in 9 games he had 8 sacks. Howell is that type of player, yet, I don't want to say on steroids because he's not on steroids, but a better player than that. And yes, the size does scare me, but I really want to see what he looks like going up against Miami's offensive line. How does he match up against a lot of other NFL talent? And A&M does have a lot of talent. But for somebody that could go in round 2, this is somebody that I think is really important for the Raiders to watch, or Raider Nation to watch during the college football playoffs. Let's go to player number 6 here. And There's dudes that you fall in love with every single year, and this is just one of these guys that I'm starting to fall in love with more and more and more. And Chugs gave me Jacob Rodriguez's name many, many months ago. I was like, hey, dude, this is just a fun guy to watch. I've been paying a little bit more closer attention to him here over the past week or so. Projected round 2 pick, but to me, he is such a good college football player. He is a great leader. I mean, you could make an argument he's the most important player to his team in college football on the defensive side of the football. I mean, they use him so many different ways, and he maximizes every single ounce of athletic ability that he has because he's not an overly athletic player. Super smart player. He is undersized to be a Mike linebacker in the NFL. But I'll just say this. When you watch his tape, he's probably not going to have a great NFL combine. I want to be very clear on that. Like, he's not going to be somebody that's going to wow you at the combine. He's not going to be somebody that blows you away with athletic ability. But, like, he's always around the football. Like, sometimes I think we overanalyze, the NFL combine. We overanalyze things that we see on tape because he might not be the fastest player. And he's not. He's not the strongest player. He's not the best in coverage. But he's always around the football, and you can just tell he's just such an intelligent flipping player. And, like, the numbers absolutely prove that. I mean, when you lead your team in tackles, 7 forced fumbles, 6 PBUs, 4 INTs, 7, what he does, he fills up a stat sheet. Now, his stats aren't empty like Devin White's, but I know Devin White's going to be leaving this offseason. I know Landon Roberts is going to be gone next offseason, right? These are free agents. But to me, if you're looking at the Raiders and you want to be able to add a young linebacker that you would be able to make your green dot in year 1, it kind of reminds me of Carson Swessinger last year. Swessinger is a much better athlete than what Rodriguez is. But, I had Swessinger as one of the top linebacker prospects that I wanted the Raiders to go out and get because he just always was around the football. And that's what I see with Jacob Rodriguez, always around the football. Coming up next here, though, on the show, my top 5 prospects to watch. And there's a lot of really good college football games. There's a lot of really, really good prospects. So this was very difficult to get it into my top 10. But you guys wanted more draft content. And at the end of the day, I do this show, not going to lie, for me. I want to make content that I enjoy. But it's also a two-way street, right? I'm not going to act like I don't give a shit what you guys have to say. I hope that you see every single day when I do this show that I care about your insight. I care about what you have to say. And the number one type of video that I've been seeing more of, hey, Mitch, can you make this, is more draft content. So I'm the man of the people. I'm a man of Raider Nation. And if you want something, I'm going to do every power in my way to give you the content that you're looking for. So if you want more Raiders draft content, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure those notifications are turned on because we got to get through this season together. We got 3 more weeks to go. Let's go to number 5 here on my list of the top targets to watch in the college football playoffs for the Silver and Black. Safety from Ohio State, Caleb Downs. Downs is a projected top 10 pick. And honestly, for a safety to be able to go even top 5 in today's day and age in the NFL, I think just speaks volumes of what people think about Caleb Downs. I mean, coming into the season, the way that people talked about Travis Hunter when he was at Colorado, I'm not saying it's apples to apples, but that's how people looked at Caleb Downs. There were people that thought that he could win the Heisman at safety, right? I mean, the last time I can even remember a defensive player at safety in the Heisman running was the Honey Badger. But he's the best safety prospect this year. There is no debate. He's got great instincts, the versatility, athleticism. He can tackle, the playmaking ability. He's a ball hawk. He is a true every down player. And if you're looking for somebody that you can do a lot of different things with, I think the NFL is a little bit of a copycat league. And at 6 foot, 205 pounds, look at what Baltimore, the way that they use Kyle Hamilton, the way that Detroit likes to use Brian Branch when he's healthy, but he can play safety. He can play. He's athletic enough to play corner. You could probably line him up in linebacker, sideline to sideline. Caleb Downs is an unbelievable talent, but the only way you're the Raiders that you can ever consider him is if you were to decide to trade back from that top pick. Let's go to number 4 here, Reuben Bain Jr., edge from Miami. And I didn't know how I felt about Reuben Bain at the beginning of the season because for anybody that's followed this show for a long time, you guys know I'm a big fan of Bruce Feldman's freak list. And Reuben Bain was somebody that showed up on the freak list. And when you look at the numbers, you're going to see 4.5 sacks. And you're going, he doesn't finish. but he had 50 hurries. He's a projected top 10 pick, and I do think that most people would consider him the best edge in the class, unless the guy who I'm going to talk about next year decides to declare as an edge, which I don't think is the worst idea for him. But you can see he's got strong hands. Like, when I say strong hands, I'm talking like Muhammad Ali punching you in your effing mouth type of hand. Like, he beats the shit out of people on the defensive line. And because you can just see he's just so strong and powerful, he gets good push. And he can play defensive end. But also what I love about his game is he could stand up on the outside as an outside linebacker. Like, if you put him at a 3-4, 5-2, 4-3, that versatility, he's going to be able to translate at the NFL level. And at 6'3", 275 pounds, like, I'm not kidding you, if you put him on the other side of Max Crosby, their game is very similar in certain ways because Max is so good with his hands. He doesn't get credit for how good he is, and you can tell how much he works on his boxing game in the offseason to help him get it going. But Reuben Bain Jr. is a psycho. And I mean that in the best way possible because the motor, the hands, the ability to get after the quarterback, you need to be able to refine a few things in there. But if you believe in your coaching staff, Reuben Bain Jr. is a really, really, truly special prospect. Now, before we get into my top 3 players that I'm going to be watching during the college football playoffs, I did put a video together about my Raiders draft plans. And to me, if you are this organization, you got 5 options if you have the number 1 overall pick. If you enjoy this video, I think you're also going to enjoy this video. It's going to be available, y'all, down in the comments, down in the description of today's show. Let's go to number 3 here. Linebacker, I'm going to say edge, Ohio State. It's Arvell Reese. I remember doing a show many, many years ago. I was on a program with Sanjeet. Shout out to my guy Sanjeet. And I remember doing a show with him, and I said, I think Micah Parsons shouldn't play linebacker. He should just play edge. And it's because you can just see how talented he is at being able to get after the quarterback. I do think Reese is a better linebacker prospect than Micah was, and I do think Micah is a better edge prospect than what Arvell is. And I'm not saying that Arvell shouldn't play linebacker, but like if I'm his agent and I'm thinking about how much money a linebacker can make compared to just a pure edge rusher in today's day and age in the NFL after seeing Micah get $48 million a year, I'm telling him like, hey, man, let's try to get you to be, an every down edge type of player. But he is a hybrid, and you can do so many different things with him because when you're 6'4", 243, and I really think Reese, there's a chance he runs a 4.3. He's probably going to run a 4.4 40, but 62 tackles, 6.5 sacks. When you're this big, and I know there's a lot of talent around Ohio State, he's the most talented player on that defense. If you get him in an NFL weight room and he adds a little bit more muscle, grows into a bigger young man, which he's going to do, we're going to sit back and I think we're going to look at and we're going to go, holy shit, Arvell Reese could be a Von Miller. Holy shit, Arvell Reese could be a Micah Parsons. And again, this is not somebody I want the Raiders to take number 1 overall because you got to go quarterback. But if you're the silver and black and you trade back and you get some of those extra draft picks, Arvell Reese, Reuben Bain Jr., you need to be able to get after the quarterback, and those 2 guys might be the best at doing it in this year's class. Let's go to number 2 here. It's going to be quarterback from Oregon, Dante Moore. And if you didn't think that QBs were going to be ranked high on my list, you definitely haven't watched the Raiders this season, and you definitely haven't watched my show. There are some rumors out there that he could return to Oregon, and he is my number 2 quarterback for the Raiders right now, and that's only because I believe Fernando Mendoza is a better fit for the pieces that we currently have on our team. But he's a pure passer, and I love how quickly he processes information. You can see it at the line of scrimmage. You can see it literally while the play is going on. Lightning quick release, which you know that Tom Brady loves that type of stuff. It's a good enough athletic ability. Like, I would look at his athletic ability, I probably compare it to somebody like a Brock Purdy. Like, Brock Purdy's not somebody you're like, oh, man, he's got all this athletic ability, but he still has the ability to run. Derek Carr, when he was early on in his career, not somebody who's going to scramble for a bunch of yards, but if he needs to pick up that first down with his legs, he's able to do it. Super mentally tough quarterback, never fazed by the moment, and he shows improvement. If you want the Raiders to draft a quarterback, you want somebody that is a sponge, that's somebody that has proven to you they can get better and better and better. And that's what Dante Moore has been able to do. On the other side of the coin, where you've seen Ty Simpson struggle, I think Dante Moore has shown that he is growing as a quarterback. And the numbers, again, 72.5% completion percentage, You need somebody that can have a high completion percentage in college football because a lot of times it does translate to the next level. I don't know if he's going to come out. I wouldn't blame him for going back, but I do really think that if Moore ends up coming out, I think he's going to be a top 10 pick. I think he's going to be a top 5 pick. And depending who is there at the top of the draft is really probably going to determine whether or not he does what he does. But, like, if you got the Jets and a team like the Raiders in the top 5, Dante Moore is going to be a top 5 pick. And that's hard to pass on. Let's go now to number 1. Spoiler alerts, no shock at all. Indiana quarterback, Heisman Trophy winner, Fernando Mendoza. And I am going to more than likely do a watch party on January 1st for when Indiana plays whoever the winner is of Oklahoma and Alabama. I just want to watch them play, and I want to be able to sit up here and, watch them with all of y'all. But to me, he can make any throw, and he can throw it on so many different levels, 10, 20, 30, 40 yards down the field. He can put the proper loft on it. He's got elite accuracy, and that's so important. But, dude's got ice in his veins, and he's very, very good. This is one thing that I have recently just discovered from watching a little bit of tape, and I want to give my guy Tom Downey some credit. He's like, look at how good he is against pressure. And when a quarterback can deal with pressure and is actually the best version of himself against heavy pressure, that's a quality that I look for, especially because I've seen how bad our offensive line has been this season. I'm very confident that the Raiders can fix their offensive line this offseason, but the way that Mendoza plays and the offense that I'm hoping the Raiders instill this year, I think it fits really well with the Bowers, the Genti, and I just root for Mendoza because the guy's a winner. And if you didn't see a video that I put out a show on Wednesday of why I think that the Raiders should draft Fernando Mendoza. I am going to put that video for you guys down in the comments, down in the description of today's show. It's like a 20-minute video of everything that I love about him. But sometimes you just got to switch it up a little bit. And I think if you're a Raiders fan and you're nervous about Mendoza, all I can ask you to do is watch him. Because he's either going to go up against an Alabama defense that's got a lot of NFL talent or an Oklahoma defense that is probably playing outside of Texas Tech the best defense in college football over the last month. Mendoza, the number 1 player Raider Nation should be watching. So before I hop on out of here again is my top 10 list. A lot of red on screen. If you agree with this, if you disagree with it, no matter what, if you made it this far in the video, please take a screenshot, tag me on social media at MitchellRents365, and be ready for a lot of good college football.